everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweets. Welcome to my very first episode of my brand new series, Sammy's Tiny Pop Things. So excited about this. I've been thinking about this for quite a while. I started my home bakery, Sammy's Sweets. That is where this idea sparked from, is this cake pop journey. And I had this idea playing around in my head. So I wanted to go ahead and jump in and start this series. It's just called Tiny Pop Things. And legit, I'm showing nothing on the screen because I don't want to give away my first thing. So let's talk about this for a second. I just knew I wanted to push myself creatively and have fun doing something. And I was giggling the entire time I was making the cake pops for today's first episode of this. Basically, the gist of this Tiny Pop Things concept is think mini brands, but edible. So we're talking logos, packaging, iconic snacks, iconic brands, just shrunk down and sweetened and turned into little cake pops. And our first ever Tiny Pop Things, we're going to kick it off with something that's literally hot. Flamin Hot Cheetos. Let me show you how I put together some of these things. We'll speed through some of the clips. And I had one bestie say to actually put like Flamin Hot on the cake pops, but I just could not do it. I still wanted them to taste amazing. And I think introducing the Flamin Hot into them would have been gnarly. So I didn't do that, but I did try to make them look as Flamin Hot as humanly possible. So we're using lots of red, lots of orange. I knew I wanted to do a Flamin Hot Cheetos bag. So I used a lot of edible images on this set, and I had a lot of different sprinkles to use here. And one of my other besties, she's like, do you have any orange or red glitter? And I was like, I only have gold, but I think it would work to be like the Cheeto dust. So between all of our creative juices, we figured out something that would work. As far as my edible images, I went ahead and printed off a few. I knew I wanted a Flamin' Hot Cheeto bag. I knew I wanted to showcase Chester Cheetah. Here I am just trying to fit them onto the Daisy Makes shapes to make sure all of them fit. I'm used to doing round ones, so doing the square and rectangle shapes was a little bit different, and I did an actual Cheeto shape too. It was so fun, like Googling to create this set. I knew I wanted an actual Cheeto shape, and I knew I was going to hand cut that one, but I thought the other ones could fit on the rectangle and square shape that I have from Daisy Makes. I love Daisy Makes poppers. I don't own all the trays for all the shapes that I have, so I just make it work. And so I have two different sets of cake pop dough that I'm prepping here. I made one like the bright red, almost neon color. I just used some food coloring for that. And then the other one, I'm making confetti. These are both just vanilla cake base. It's the same exact cake base in this case. And I just added in the red and orange jimmies to make the confetti. So I'm just trying to hand cut for the various ones I need to hand cut. I also just use the Daisy Makes shapes. Then once I got all my shapes, I ended up heating up my orange. I turned it into red orange. I also have a almost black, it's not quite black, and also using white here. So I've got the three colors. I'm dipping everything to add the sticks, and then I go ahead and dip everything, and I'm adding the edible images as I dip. So I dip, shake off all the excess chocolate, stick on my edible images, and then put the sprinkles around the edges. I really love the sugar crystal sprinkles because they're nice and crunchy. They just add such a good pop to the texture of the cake pops. And I realized when I was dipping everything that the orange and the red jimmies actually look like Cheetos. So I really dove into those and added a bunch of the jimmies on these cake pops. And then at the end, I added a little bit of the gold luster dust. This is from Shine, and I used it on just a couple images. I didn't want them all to be super shiny, but I wanted some to have that like, golden Cheeto dust-esque look to them. And yeah, that was pretty much what I did. I made some that were just the same colors that coordinated with all the logoing and packaging, and then some that looked kind of like the Cheetos themselves, and then some that were the actual packaging. So here they are all lined up. I was legit giggling the whole time I was making these because I thought they were so fun and so funny. I want to know what you guys think. So now let's do a quick rundown of each shape. First, iconic, the Flamin' Hot Cheeto bag. I made this with the black chocolate. I put some sugar crystal sprinkles in the orange/red and black. Next, we got the Chester Cheetah surrounded by actual Flamin' Hot Cheeto looking jimmies. They're just red jimmies. Next, we have just some round disc shapes in various different sprinkle combinations that looked like the packaging and also looked like actual Cheetos. Next, one of my favorites, the Cheeto background. I just happened to find this image and it was like like the Cheetos spilling out of an actual Cheeto bag, and it was super cute, so I wanted to put that one on a cake pop. Next, Mr. Chester Cheetah himself as a Funko Pop. He was super cool. I did spray this one with the gold glitter, and it looked super cute. I just really like the outside of it looks like actual Cheeto dust with those sugar crystals. Next, the iconic Chester Cheetah with the logoing for Cheetos, and I did not like the edges of this one, so I will fix these later, but I could see the white, and it was totally annoying me, so I do fix it later with an edible pen. And then the Cheeto itself, it's just a crunchy Cheeto. I found a picture of a crunchy Cheeto. I thought the shape of it kind of looked like a pickle, but I used the same sugar crystal sprinkles to make it look like Cheeto dust around the edges of the actual little crunchy Cheeto. And here I go in and color those edges with a black edible marker, but this helped me cover up those white edges because I am printing on white sugar paper, and I just miscut one of the corners, and then on the other corners you can just see the white edges, so I just fixed it and it worked really nicely. Covered up that little bit of white that I kept seeing. And that is it for this episode of Sami's Tiny Pop Things. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and what should I shrink next? Drop your dream brand in the comments and check back next week because I'm going to have another one of these Tiny Pop things for you guys, and I might just pop your pick. Also, don't forget to like and follow and subscribe, and I'm going to be posting these on more than just TikTok, so definitely follow me along if you're seeing this on any socials. Hopefully you can join my cake popping journey and subscribe so you never miss a tiny treat and never miss a tiny pop things. And totally stay tuned because I have another series I want to debut for you guys very, very soon. I've got some back to school pre-orders. If you're in the Austin, Texas area, I'm going to be releasing those pre-orders very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. And I will have other cake popping goodness for you guys. I've had so many custom orders lately, and I still have not posted them all. Follow me along on all the socials. I am Sami Sweets ATX or Sami's Sweet Life, and I will catch you guys next time. And I definitely want to hear what you guys think of my new series and what you want me to popify next. Have a great day, guys. Bye.